See, this is the newer CBR. I think this is like a 2014 plate. And like I'm saying, I mean, fuck it, he's already going ham on my bike, cheeky fucker. This is already a nicer bike. Fucking hell, it's so high up. Wow, it feels so strange being on a big bike like this. It's so much chunkier, but it is the better bike out of the two. I love my bike more than anything, but for this type of stuff, it's really about this bike. This is a better bike to do it on. So much more inviting and so much more comfortable. It's perfect for that type of stuff, whereas my bike, it isn't. Righty ho. In case you haven't noticed, well, it's not a 250, put it that way. It is a CBR 125. I think it's the 2013 or 2014 model. I don't know if I ever uploaded the clip. It's my friend's one. He had the black one, and unfortunately he had a massive crash. And was off the road for a little while, and then he got back on the road and he got one of these again, but he obviously just got a slightly newer one. So this is my proper review of this bike as best as I can. I mean, obviously for the most part it's exactly the same as my bike, with a few subtle differences. For starters, the screen and all the fairings are a lot better. You can tuck, when you've got the double bubble screen on this, you can tuck right in. And you can see the speedo's already starting to rise when you tuck, obviously. Yeah, I mean, I love my bike. Everyone knows I absolutely adore my bike. But part of me does wish that I had got this one instead. In the same colours as mine. I mean, this is white. This is the tricolour, but it's not the fairing tricolour. It's just got the tricolour stickers. And personally, I prefer the tricolour fairing. But yeah, part of me does wish I got that. But when I first was looking at getting one, I didn't really know a whole lot about bikes. So I thought this would be okay. It's so bloody quiet as well. I'm trying to see where I've got to stop. Good old pit stop place. Now, this one's gearbox hasn't gone all funny, or it hasn't on me as of yet, but it will. I can promise you that. It always does it. So, I mean, obviously, it is what it is. It's exactly the same. Obviously what you'd expect, just the newer one. So look, it is a 2014 plate, so it's only what, 2 years old, well, nearly 2 years old. I mean, it's lovely on the whole, but I mean the thing that I prefer is the tank's bigger, the fairings come out more, so you'll see in a moment when I go for a knee down, it's more inviting to the body position, and obviously you've got these big mirrors, so you can level your head past the mirrors. You can just get your positioning so much better, and it feels so much better to do it on, whereas mine's a twig. It just feels you feel a little bit out of place. It feels a bit silly. I mean, but everything else about this bike is exactly the same as my bike. I mean, there's kind of, I'd say top speed wise, some people reckon these do a little bit less, and then some people reckon the carb one does a little bit more than mine, which it probably does. Obviously, I'm not into that massive debate. That's a whole nother story. But in general, this bike on a whole is amazing. It's lovely. obviously apart from the bloody gearbox, there's no fault to this bike at all. Right, so let's head back again. So you'll see when I get back there, I'll head in for a little a knee down, and you'll see how kind of different it is for me to do it on this. I'll probably throw a clip up of both bikes so that you can see the comparison. But this is definitely the much preferred one. Of course, the thing that as well off-puts a lot of people about my bike is the skinnier tyres. They've addressed that with this bike. This bike has a lot bigger tyres, but the thing that people don't seem to consider is its diameter that really matters, not the thickness. But I will admit, it personally, when I first ever got on this bike, I found it a lot easier to chuck the bike over. But then to get it over that last little bit, I found a little bit more difficult because it is a bit different. I think this bike's actually lower. I've just compared it a moment ago before doing this video, but I feel that this bike's bigger and higher. That's purely probably because of the tank and stuff like that, that's kind of a trick in my mind a little bit. But I much prefer this bike, to be honest. Purely, it's really just because of the fairings and the tank and how much just chunkier the bike is. I don't know why that car just kind of pulled in for me then. Probably thought I was on a 600 or something. I think it did just pull in for me. That's very nice of them. Kind gesture. Stop looking in my mirrors now and actually pay attention to the road. Yeah, so we'll see now, go and do a quick lap, and you'll see how much more. I didn't even see him then, that's his bike. Definitely much better. I feel a lot more grippier on this doing it. It was a lot more comfortable. The body position feels a lot more subtle. Well, not subtle, but it feels right on this. Feels a little bit out of place on mine.